When I first entered reunion with my daughter, I had no idea what was in store for me. It was all new territory and I was all alone on this journey. It was a difficult road, but I have found 3 things that have helped me to start to heal from the trauma of relinquishing my daughter for adoption. But before I get into those 3 things, let me introduce myself for those that may be new here. My name is Kat Davald, and I am a 49-year-old birth mom, and I have been in reunion for 5 years with my 33-year-old daughter. So the first thing that I'm going to mention that has really helped me release a lot of anxiety and helped me start to heal from my trauma is Binaural Beats. I know I've mentioned this before in other videos, and I honestly don't remember where I learned about them, but they have helped me immensely. Binaural beats are basically auditory illusions. It is basically 2 different frequencies being played in each ear. So one ear, you're supposed to wear headphones with them. It doesn't really work if you don't wear headphones. So you have to wear headphones. And I recommend headphones as opposed to earbuds just because it's a lot more comfortable, because it's sort of meditative. So you want to become comfortable and be relaxed. I lay down, you can either lay down or sit, but you want to be comfortable. So headphones are much more comfortable. And it's one frequency being played in one ear and another frequency being played in the other ear. If you're going to try this, then you have to give it at least 10 minutes, because everything that I've read about binaural beats mentions that the positive effects don't kick in until the 7-minute mark, because then that is when your brain will start to recognize these 2 frequencies and they will start to work together. So binaural beats are said to reduce anxiety, which I can attest to that. It really helped me. And at one point, I just want to put this in there too, is binaural beats is what got me out of a really long 3-month depression where I had the type of depression where I went to work, I came home, and I got in bed. And that was it. I was sad all the time. I was crying all the time. I couldn't do anything. I didn't want to do anything. So it really helped me get out of a hole. But technically, what has been researched about binaural beats is it is said to reduce anxiety and improve concentration, lower stress levels, increase relaxation, foster positive moods, promote creativity, and help manage pain. There are also different wave states that you can play with to see what will help you the most. Different wave frequencies will help you with different areas. Delta waves, which are 1 to 4 megahertz, will help you with sleep and relaxation. Theta waves, which are 4 megahertz to 8 megahertz, will help you with sleep, reduced anxiety, relaxation, and meditative and creative states. Alpha waves, which is 8 megahertz to 13 megahertz, will help you with relaxation, promote positivity, and decrease anxiety. Beta waves, which is 14 megahertz to 30 megahertz, will help with increased concentration, alertness, problem solving, and improved memory. And then anything above 40 megahertz is helpful in enhancing training and learning. So a lot of channels you might see that are channels to help you study. Those are the types of channels that will use 40 megahertz and higher frequencies to help promote you to study and learn and retain information. This has been studied, and there are quite a few studies out there if you'd like to look into them. And one good thing is there's no side effects if you happen to use binaural beats. Like I said before, it's a type of meditation and it really does help. I generally use theta and alpha waves, and it depends on what I want to focus on in that time. I do still use them, not as much as I used to when I was really in the beginning of my healing, because it really did help me, but I do use them on occasion still. And so for your convenience, I've linked some of my favorite binaural beat channels below. So the next thing that has really helped me, and this kind of goes along with the binaural beats, is meditation. And I did mention that binaural beats is a form of meditation. But actually doing some guided meditations has also really helped me. I am not one of those types of people that can sit down and empty my mind and get into that state or anything. And I know a lot of people can't either. But guided meditations have really been useful to me. It's really much more simple and it is very calming, and it is very helpful to listen to a simple 10-minute guided meditation where they just walk you through, slowing your breathing down and, relaxing your muscles, and, they guide you to, okay, think of a field and spot a tree in the distance. And meditation doesn't have to be emptying your mind completely. What meditation is if you have a thought come in, recognize that the thought is there and then let it go. It doesn't matter if thoughts keep coming. It's hard to just empty your mind. So that's what it is. It's letting your mind go. But if you also have a guided meditation where you're able to think about some particular thing, then that is all. I'm telling you, it's so much, very helpful, and it's very calming, and it does help a lot. There have been many studies done that meditation lowers stress and anxiety and really helps a lot in these situations. And I've also linked some of my favorite guided meditation channels below. The third thing that has really helped me immensely, and it still does, is being a member of a support group. And I'm the member of quite a few, but there are two major ones that I really focus on a lot, and one is my Birthmom group, and the other one is a constellation group, which is a Facebook group that I'm a part of that includes everybody that would be affected by adoption, and that's including adoptive parents, foster parents, anybody who's in that in the adoption realm on that side, adoptees, birth moms, birth fathers, everybody who is affected by adoption can join that group. And sometimes I might have a question that I really need an adoptee to answer. And it hasn't been often, but there has been a couple times where I felt like I needed to get an adoptee's point of view. And if I went to my daughter, it wasn't something that I could go to my daughter with. It was something, and honestly, I don't even remember what a couple of them were, but it's only been a couple times, but I really needed to know from another perspective. So I would ask a few questions, and there's always people going back and forth with them. So it's helpful to even just to read and to learn and to educate myself what others might be feeling and how they walk through this type of environment as well on their journey. The birth mom groups, obviously it is a godsend to have other people who can understand the way I feel. So I'm on a different part of my journey, and my daughter and I have been in reunion for over 5 years, and she's 33, so I have gone through many stages in my adoption relinquishment. I'm no longer in the fog. I realize that there is trauma associated with adoption, so I can't relate to everybody, but I can relate to most people. And it is a godsend to be able to have those people that I can go to if I'm feeling a certain type of way. Because I can't go to my family, they don't understand. I can't go to my daughter with certain things because no, she wouldn't understand. She's not a birth mother. You know, it's a place where we can talk about the coercive practices of adoption agencies and adoptive parents, and talk about all different types of stuff that may be affecting us. We can commiserate with each other and support each other and hold each other up. There are a lot of circumstances where expectant mothers come in thinking about adoption, and we make them see what the outcome could possibly be and how traumatic it could possibly be for them as well as their baby, and recommend different types of things and ways that they can get past the temporary situation that they're in, because adoption is a permanent solution to a temporary situation. So, you know, there's a lot of things that I enjoy about my birth mom group. Honestly, if I didn't have other birth moms to banter with, I don't know where I would be in reunion. I don't know if I would be in a successful reunion like I am. Being able to ask questions before saying something or doing something that may end up being wrong is super helpful. And sometimes I just don't know, and I'm scared of messing up reunion, or I have certain feelings and I can't express them to nobody, but I can express them in the group. So the birth mom group and the constellation groups have both been wonderful additions to help with my healing, because there are those people that also understand exactly how I feel. The fourth thing that has really helped me in starting to heal from this trauma is giving into the grief, letting it go, feeling the pain. I never did that before. I was always told, basically, not in these exact words, but to suck it up. Either that or I shouldn't be sad, I did a beautiful thing, and, you know, all these things, and I should just, you know, move forward, go forward. So I did that for years, but now in the past probably 3-4 years, I've really gone through a dark night of the soul, and I've felt the grief, and there, some days are much harder than others. Some days are much easier than others. I have cried, I have wailed, I have let it all out. And sometimes you just have to. There are days that I don't stop crying, and it goes on and on and on. Nobody knows. Nobody has any idea, because I do it in private, because that is still part of my trauma. I don't show emotion well, and I can't explain myself to people who don't understand and haven't been through what I have been through. And I also feel like I get mocked by some people if I do show those emotions. Regardless if it happens or not, I feel like that would happen because it has happened in my life. And now when I have triggers, I let it flow. If something triggers me, I cry. I let it go. Again, in private, I generally do it in private, but I don't seek out triggers. I don't see a lot of triggers when I'm not in private anyways. Because social media has a lot of triggers. And, you know, sometimes in these groups, I let it out because I feel bad or I feel sad or it makes me remember something. So that it does trigger me, but I'm able to grieve and I'm able to let it out. You know, it does suck, but I don't have anybody that can empathize with me. Nobody would understand. And so I don't really have anybody to lean on, except for these people in the birth mom groups. And this is why I do a lot of my grieving in private. But it has been immensely helpful to finally let it all out. If you have somebody, by all means, have that support next to you. But if it has to be online or some other type of way, then and use that and let the grief out. Because once you start letting that grief out, things do, I don't want to say get easier, because it's never going to be easy being a birth mom, but sometimes things get lighter, and sometimes you're able to pass through feelings quicker than before. So these 4 things have really helped me through some tough times. But let me say this, by no means have I healed fully from the trauma of relinquishing my daughter. In fact, I'm not okay, and I don't think I ever will be. I will never be happy that I gave my daughter up for adoption. To add to it, I have my childhood trauma on top of it that I also have to deal with. However, I have come a long way from where I started, and I am learning and continuing to heal and work on being a better version of myself every day. These 4 things are things that got me out of my dark place. They helped me climb out of a depressive hole that I was in, and hopefully they can help you too, or to help you find the tools that you need on your own journey. That's all for today. See you soon. Bye-bye.